My name's Niamh Gould and I work with Leaf Ireland and Learning About Forests Ireland, and here we are working with the project called Choill Bheag. We're creating this short video as a resource for teachers and students for when you come back after the summer to your Choill Bheag and it looks really overgrown. We want to show you a few jobs that you can be doing to help the trees keep growing, but also to make sure that there's still loads of spaces for the wildness and the biodiversity. It's also to show how to maintain the nature trail and to maintain the outdoor classroom so that there's a balance between the wildness and tidiness. So when you come back after the summer, chances are there's been a lot of grass growth. Chances are as well that there's going to be wild plants growing. And I suppose I want to show you some so that you don't worry, because actually grass is the biggest issue. That's what will stop the trees from growing. If you find plants like knapweed growing, just leave them for as long as you can, because in the knapweed are seed heads and they're really important for finches and other birds through the winter. So really try not to cut them down. The one that people worry a lot about is the lovely dock. So we're going to learn to love docks, but most people aren't ready for that yet. So what we do is we literally go in and cut them down to the ground. And that is really, we don't dig the root out or anything, we just leave those bits in the ground, and it's mainly to make sure that the seeds don't spread. And when we cut them, we throw them in a far rough pile in the far edge of the school garden, where hedgehogs and frogs and other creatures would like to overwinter. And then the last one I'd like to show in this case is the horsetail. And horsetail is not a problem in the woodlands. You don't want it in your vegetable beds, but if it's in the woodlands, we can just trample it or we just let her be, so she's not a problem either. The first thing you'll notice is that around the trees, a lot of the grass will have grown up around the trees. And so the most basic thing you can do, and you can do it as often as you like through the year, is you get the students to find the tree and then they trample all the grass. You don't pull it or don't cut it. And that is the simplest thing you can do, and you can do it as often as you need to. As well as that, you can remulch some of the trees. I would give priority to the oak and the holly because they're the slowest growing of the trees. But if any of the trees are covered in grass, pull back the grass, and you can then lay down cardboard. So you cover the cardboard with mulch material, and that can include leaves, bark mulch, grass clippings, or any other garden material. But you want to cover all the cardboard and you want to make sure that it's not up around the tree. So we always make a little nest around the tree so nothing's touching the tree, because it can burn the bark, but then the rest can cover all the cardboard. To create more habitats, you can also put logs around the trees that you've mulched, or twiggy materials. So if there's twigs dropping from trees in the school grounds, you could go out and pick them and put them on top of the mulch as well. And they create more habitats for insects like woodlice, all the creatures that live in them over the winter. So another important part of the Choill Bheag is the access of the nature trail. So in this school they have a Slí na Sláinte, which is the well-being walk or the health walk, and it's through the Choill Bheag. And the one thing that'll stop people using that trail is if the branches overhang or if they can't get through. So it's really important to become confident in using the secateurs and going on little walks to snip the branches that are coming out onto the path. And that can be done all year round, but it's usually better to do in the winter when there's no leaves on the trees, but at the same time you can cut a branch if it's in the way at any time. If your school has planted a hedgerow as a habitat, you do the mulching and the trampling the exact same way as you do for the trees, and the only other action that you take that is different is you will clip the top of the tree to encourage it to grow out like a hedge. So one of our main goals with the Choill Bheag in the school grounds is that the students and teachers spend more time outdoors in nature, around trees. And really what we're hoping as the woods grow, that people's knowledge and understanding of all the trees and the habitats and this amazing resource they have in the school grounds becomes part of the whole school.